are today. Please welcome the next President of the United States and the next First Lady of the United States, Governor and Mrs. Mitt Romney. First Lady of the United States, Mitt Romney.
And get greeted like that, but the thing you don't know, there's as many of you outside as inside right now. That's the momentum we have been feeling. It's not just in Virginia, it's all across this country. And next to the next President of the United that's following American politics wants to know where the energy is, just come right here in this room and you'll tell you. I want to thank your governor, Governor Bob McDonnell, the most popular governor in America. And the First Lady, Maureen McDonald, as well. And thank you to the next United States Senator from the Commonwealth of Virginia, George Allen. Also to Congressman Frank Wolf for introducing us here and welcoming us here. And thank you for that welcome. I'm overwhelmed. That's really something special. And I'm
I'm looking around to see if we have the Beatles here or something to have brought you, but it looks like you came just for the campaign, and I appreciate it. Your voices and your energy and your passion are being heard all over the nation. And I hear them in our hearts as well, and I want to thank you for being here and for showing us that kind of welcome, and thank you for the work that so many of you have been doing, going across the neighborhood, knocking on doors, making phone calls for us at victory centers, putting up signs in your yard and in your neighbors' yards. Thanks for convincing co-workers to join our team and to recognize how important this election is for the entire nation. And now let's make sure that we get everybody out to vote on Tuesday. Everybody you know. You know, what's really inspiring about this gathering today is that you came here because you care about America. And this is a campaign about America and about the future that we're going to leave to our children and to their children. We thank you, and we ask you to stay with it all the way until we win tomorrow night. Now, perhaps there are a few members of your family or your friends that haven't decided who they're going to vote for yet. And so when you talk to them, and I'm going to talk to them here as well, ask them to look beyond the speeches and the attacks and the ads and look at the record. Look at the record, because talk is cheap, but a record is real and it's earned with effort. You know, when the president promised change, you can actually look and see what happened, because change can't be measured in speeches. It's measured in achievements. And 4 years ago, then candidate Obama promised to do so very much, but he's done so very little. I mean, he promised to be, as you recall, a post-partisan president, but he was most partisan, and he has attacked and blamed and divided. And it's not only Republicans he's refused to listen to, it's also independent voices. He said he was going to focus on job creation. Instead, he focused on Obamacare that killed jobs. He said he was going to cut the federal deficit. He was going to cut the deficit in half. Instead, he doubled it. He said that by now, unemployment would be at 5.2%, and you saw on Friday at 7.9%. They may sound like small percentage differences, but you know, that's 9 million American jobs short of what he promised. Those are real people. Unemployment is today higher than when Barack Obama took office. And you know, he promised that he would propose a plan to save Medicare and Social Security from insolvency, but he didn't. And in fact, he raided Medicare $716 billion to pay for his vaunted Obamacare plan. He said that he would lower health insurance premiums for the average American family by now by $2,500 a family. Any of you seen your health insurance go down by that amount? I keep looking. Actually, what we've seen is that premiums are up for the average family by $3,000 a year. And you think about that, with a median income of $50,000 a year, he's off by $5,500. This is tough for America's families. And by the way, gasoline, that now costs $2,000 a family more than it did when he was elected. There's a record to look at. He said he'd work across the aisle on the most important issues. Did you know that he has not met on the economy or on jobs or on the budget with either the Republican leader of the House or of the Senate since July? Think of that. This is November. Since July. Instead of bridging the divide, he's made the divide wider. And so when so many of you look at the big debates in this country, not as a Republican or a Democrat, but as an independent thinker, as an American, and you watch what's happened in this country over the last 4 years with an independent voice, you hope that President Obama would live up to his promise to bring people together, to solve big problems. He hasn't. I will. Let me tell you why he fell so far short of what he promised. It's because he cared more about the liberal agenda he was pursuing than he did about repairing the economy. I mean, did Obamacare create new jobs? Did his war on coal and gas and oil create new jobs? Did those Dodd-Frank regulations make it easier for banks to make loans to people? Does raising taxes put people to work? How about his avalanche of new regulations? Does that help small businesses? How about his plan to require companies to have unions whether the employees want to vote for them or not? Card check, does that create jobs? You passed the test. He took, almost everything he did hurt the economy. And that means it hurt our fellow Americans. 23 million of our fellow Americans are struggling to find a good job. 1 in 6 of our fellow Americans are in poverty. And the middle class, those that aren't poor, those that have a job, they're still struggling. They've been squeezed over the last 4 years by incomes that have been coming down. Now $4,300 a year less in income per year than when he took office. And at the same time, prices are up for health insurance, as I mentioned, and for gasoline, and for food, and for electricity. These have been tough times to be middle class in America under this president. This weekend, I spoke with a man, excuse me, I spoke with a wife of a man. He is 60 years old, in the prime earning years of his life. 60 years old is just fine, by the way. I remember being young like that. This guy had worked for 40 years as a welder, but he just got laid off. And she asked me on the phone, she said, what can I do to help her husband? And she made it very clear. She wasn't talking about getting a government check. He wants a job. The president thinks that more government is the answer. It is not. More good jobs. That's the answer for America. I think the question of this election comes down to this. Do you want 4 more years like the last 4 years? Or do you want real change? Now look, the president promised change, but he just couldn't deliver it. I not only promised change, I have a record of achieving it. I actually built a business and turned around another one. I helped turn around the Olympics back when they were in trouble. By the way, with the Democrat legislature, I helped turn my state from deficit to surplus, and from job losses to job growth, and from higher taxes to higher take-home pay. That's why I'm running for president. I know how to change the course the nation is on. I've balanced budgets. You have to do that in business or you go bankrupt. And I balanced budgets in my state and at the Olympics. I'm going to use that skill to help balance our federal budget and to help build jobs and get rising take-home pay. Because accomplishing real change is not just something I talk about. It's something I have done and I will do as the next president of the United States. We can do better, and if you believe America should be on a better course, and if you're tired of being tired, then I ask you to vote and work for real change. Paul Ryan and I will bring real change from day one. Because when I'm elected, I understand the American economy and the job situation is still going to be struggling, stagnant. I won't waste any time complaining about my predecessor. Spend my effort trying to pass partisan legislation that's unrelated to job growth. From day one, I'm going to go to work to help Americans get to work. And people across the country are responding to our 5-part plan to create jobs. You've heard about it. Part 1 is taking full advantage of our energy resources. On day 1, I'm going to act to increase the number of leases and permits on federal lands, and so we can drill there for oil and gas. And I'll also approve the construction of the Keystone Pipeline from Canada. Number two, I'm going to move to boost trade, particularly with Latin America, and I'll finally designate China as a currency manipulator. They've got to play by the rules. Third, I'm going to send Congress something I call the Retraining Reform Act to make sure that every worker can get the skills they need for the jobs of today. Fourth, I'm going to move to tackle out-of-control spending in Washington. I'm going to send Congress the first of several fundamental reforms, which I call the Down Payment on Fiscal Sanity Act. You see, Paul Ryan and I intend not just to slow down the rate of government growth, but actually to cut government spending. I'm not just going to take office on January 20th. I'm going to take responsibility for the office as well. Number five, I'm going to act to boost small business, all business. I'm going to issue executive orders aimed straight at the problems that are holding back the economy. I'm going to grant state waivers from Obamacare so we can begin its repeal. I'm going to launch a sweeping review of the Obama-era regulations with an eye to eliminating or repairing any one of those that are killing jobs. And by the way, for the first time in 4 years, every entrepreneur, every small business person, every job creator will know that the President and the government of the United States likes them and likes the jobs they create. Limit the size of and the scope of government rather than limiting the dreams of our fellow Americans. And so our choice tomorrow will lead us to one of two very different outcomes. And I realize the American people are going to have that choice. I hope they recognize that there are two different places these choices will end up. Because if the president were to be reelected, he will still be unable to work with Congress. He ignored Congress, he attacked the people there, he blamed them, and you know there's going to be another debt ceiling that's going to come up again and again, and there'll be a threat of a shutdown or a default, and when that happens, the economy shrinks, people lose jobs. The president was right when he said that he can't change Washington from the inside, only from the outside. We're going to give him that chance in a day or two. with Republicans and Democrats in Washington. And I'm going to meet with their leaders on a regular basis. I'm going to endeavor to find the good men and good women on both sides of the aisle that care more about the country than they do about politics. Now, if the president were to be reelected, he'll continue his war on coal and oil and gas. When I'm elected, we're going to change course on energy, because to build jobs and help with prices at the pump, we have got to achieve North American energy independence in 8 years. Look, if the president is reelected, this is real. I hope you understand. As I'm talking about these two different perspectives, these are real outcomes of the course that's going to be chosen tomorrow. Because if the president's reelected, he's going to continue to crush small business. He may not think he wants to do that, but that's what he'll do. With his plan to raise taxes on them, that's going to kill jobs. And then with card check, the idea of forcing unions where employees themselves don't want them. Think what that'll do to small business. And then expanding regulations. Imposing Obamacare. These things will crush small business. Look, I care about small business. I see small business as a way for people to realize their dreams and to put other people to work. I mean, last week I was in Richmond and I met with Rhoda Elliott. She's been running her family restaurant business for years. It's a business that her family's been in for 82 years. Bill's Barbecue. At its high point, most of you know Bill's, all right? At the peak, she employed 200 people, but she just closed it down. She told me that Obama-era regulations and the taxes, Obamacare, and the effects of the Obama economy had put her out of business. And she teared up. This wasn't about money, of course. This was about a future for her family and for her family of employees. I want to help the hundreds of thousands of dreamers like Rhoda, and I will. If the president were to be reelected, why, he's going to say he's going to fix our schools, but he'll do what his largest campaign supporters, the public sector unions, insist he do. And your kids will have the same schools with the same results. When I'm president, I'll be a voice of the children and their parents because they don't have a union to speak for them. Make sure that the parents get the information they need to know whether the school their child is going to is succeeding or failing, and I want them to have the choice of what school their child can attend. And this is something I've had some experience of doing, because as governor, we were able to take our schools to the very top of the nation, #1 of all 50 states. And we did that by working together, Republicans and Democrats, listening to the good advice of our best teachers who dedicated their lives to helping others, listening to parents, and always putting students and their education first. And I'll do the same as president. Now, these last few months, as our campaign has gathered the strength of a movement, I noted it's not just the size of the crowds, it's the depth of our shared conviction. It's made me strive to be more worthy of your support and to campaign as I would govern, to speak for the aspirations of all Americans. I've learned as governor of Massachusetts that the best achievements are shared achievements. I've learned that respect and goodwill go a long way and are usually returned in kind. That's how I'll conduct myself as president. I'll bring people together. I won't just represent one party, I'll represent one nation. using almost every argument he can think of, the president has tried to convince people in this country that the last 4 years have been a success. And accordingly, his plan for the next 4 years is to take all the ideas from the first 4, you know, the stimulus and the borrowing and Obamacare and all the rest, and do them all over again. He calls his plan going forward. I call it forewarned. The same course we're on isn't going to lead to a better destination. The same course we're on is going to lead to $20 trillion in debt. It's going to lead to crippling unemployment continuing. It means ongoing stagnant take-home pay. It means depressed home values. And by the way, it also means we'd see a devastated military. Unless we change course, we may also be looking at another recession. Now, you may have heard that in his closing argument, President Obama asked his supporters to vote for revenge. I asked the American people to vote for love of country. To a better place. We're one day away from a fresh start. One day away from the first day of a new beginning. My conviction that better days are ahead is not based on promises and hollow rhetoric, but on solid plans and proven results, and on an unshakable faith in the American spirit. And if there's anyone worried that the last 4 years are the best we can do, if there's anyone who fears that the American dream is fading away, if there's anyone who wonders whether better paychecks and better jobs are things of the past, I have a clear and unequivocal message. With the right leadership, America is coming roaring back. Some of the best years we've ever known is lack of leadership, and that's why we have elections. Tomorrow's a moment to look into the future and imagine what we can do to put the past 4 years behind us and start building a new future. You saw the differences when President Obama and I were side by side in the debates, which I enjoyed, by the way. He says it has to be this way. I say it can't stay this way. He's offering excuses. I've got a plan. He can't wait. Excuse me. I can't wait to get us started. He's hoping we'll settle. But Americans don't settle. We build. We aspire. We dream. We build a stronger America. Better life. Make a better country. That better life is out there. It's waiting for us. Our destiny. Our destiny. It's in the hands of the American people. Tomorrow we get to work rebuilding our country, restoring our confidence and renewing our conviction. Our confidence that we're on a solid path to steady improvement. Confidence that college grads 4 years from now will have better jobs waiting for them. Confidence that single moms who are now working 2 jobs will be able to find a better job. Now tomorrow on November 6th, we come together for a better future. And on November 7th, we'll get to work. Now I'd like you to reach across the street to that neighbor with the other yard sign. And we'll reach across the aisle here in Washington to people of good faith in the other party. It's much more than our moment. It's America's moment of renewal and purpose and optimism. We have journeyed far and wide in this campaign together for America's future, and now we're almost there. One final push, we'll be there. We've known some long days and some short nights, and now we are very, very close. The door to a brighter future is there. It's open, it's waiting for us. I need your vote. I need your work. Walk with me.